Welcome back to Beards and Brews. Hey, if you haven't already, be sure to hit the subscribe button and ring that bell so you know when we have another one brewing. This week's movie is going to be Twilight. And if you're listening, yeah, we know. Fellas, what do you
Yeah,
think?
I farted. That's what I think. This was shit.
Oh my god. This movie took me aback because of how frustrated I was just watching this. It's not filth. What's a better word?
oh, it's like they try everything that they can to be artistic, but it's like artistic in the mind of like a sixth grader, you know?
Oh, I'm 14 and this is the movie.
Absolutely. Drivel.
Yeah, that's what this is.
You know what this movie screams? This movie screams, we had to. Like, everybody's here for the paycheck. Nobody gives a fuck. And I think that's what was frustrating about it. I was just like, oh my god, they used that take? That's how they're going to say that line? Okay.
I have that so many times in my notes. I'm like, is that really... They're settling on that look? They couldn't have just done like one more take?
Dude, by the time I got to the baseball scene, I was debilitated.
Oh, the baseball.
Oh, God bless. He's fucking cracking homers, the sound of as loud as lightning and thunder. And that's why you guys can only play in a storm. Bitch, shut the fuck up.
Okay,
It's fucking rough, man.
So this was my pick. I don't know why I did this to you. I wanted a curveball. We got a curveball. I have seen this movie before. I've seen it before all the way through once and in bits and pieces here and there. I don't remember it being nearly this bad, but looking at it with like a little bit of a critical eye, man, this movie is fucking terrible.
I wasn't abashed to doing this movie. I was actually kind of excited because, like, all right, this is a movie totally not geared towards us at all. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. I'll give it a shot. What are you gonna do? Man, this movie is so strategically lazy. I just wanted to fucking tear somebody's head off and toss it into a fire that I haphazardly made.
A fire, what, inside of a building too?
You know.
Chandler, you tried to throw a curveball and you hit us with the pitch.
I guess I did.
Oh man, then we took our base like bitches. Like, fuck, man. I'm exhausted.
Well, at least I got the base.
Well, somebody better get a base because Edward didn't get any. Am I right?
Oh my god!
He can't do it or something. I don't know. We don't know why yet.
I know why.
I guess we'll find out in further movies, but...
Sir, it's because vampires are undead. His dick does not work. He does not have blood pumping. Therefore, he cannot engorge his member.
I can't tell if that's canon or not. Have you read the books? Is that what this is about? Brady, did you read the books?
Yes. This is the book telling me that his dick doesn't function in a reality.
I think I remember 50 Shades of Grey was based on this, not the other way around, right?
Oh man, that's another thing. This movie feels like a fan fiction of something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know.
It's a fan fiction of the book, which is already fan fiction of, like, I don't know, a 13-year-old trying to write erotic literature for other 13-year-olds.
Oh, something that Tina would write from Bob's Burgers.
Oh, for sure.
The erotic friend fiction. This is all just like in the mind of Anna Kendrick's character.
But for some reason, like, the entire movie's just all the shots are pointed at people's asses.
All right, let's get the whole plot or whatever out of the way. You got a girl played by, what's her name?
Kristen Stewart.
Kristen Stewart. She does have an open mouth most of the time. That's fine. That's fine. Not going to touch that one. She decides for whatever reason to go live with her father. She's been living with her mother in Phoenix. She's going to live with her father in a random ass town in like rural Washington. That's where we are. Her first day of school is coming along.
And boy, is she talk of the town? This is like her first day in a new high school. Like, high school's kind of brutal. And she immediately has like 6 best friends.
Yeah, well, I guess things are a little bit different when you're a cute girl. Everybody wants to be your friend, especially all the guys.
I mean, even that one chick, yeah.
Yeah.
The creeper. Holy shit. From the fucking diner. I used to play Santa and put you on the lap.
And the whole time I'm just like, red flag, red flag, red flag.
Well, like, you've also got, what's his name? The Native American boy.
Taylor Lautner.
Taylor Lautner.
Yeah.
He's got a name. Everybody was like, Jacob.
He's Team Jacob.
And then you've got Jacob, who I guess, they used to make mud pies when they were little. He's coming around and is just immediately smitten with her. Like, comes in immediately smitten. It's not like they have like a little back and forth or whatever. They have, some things in common or whatever. It's just like right off the bat, he's into her.
His feelings be damned. He's walking around with like a Lego hairpiece on the whole time. I could not stop looking at where it started.
Yeah, I was watching this movie and my roommate just happened to like pass through. He looks at the screen and he's just like, whoa, that hair.
Yeah. And like he later in the movie, he's hanging out with his other wolf friends, for lack of a better term. And they all have like natural long hair. And this dude's walking around with like fucking Halloween on his head. It's just distracting. I don't know.
And the only thing worse than that is when they introduced the quote-unquote sexiest guy, the vampire dude, Team Edward, they go, the Cullens are kind of incesty.
I guess Dr. Cullen, the father, has, or at least this is the story about town, he's adopted some other children here or there. He still has his one true son, but he's got some foster kids. And those foster kids are... I mean, they're not related, but it's still kind of weird.
That just goes to show the penmanship in this movie, because they try to explain stuff and it's just always fucking dumb.
But right off the bat, you can tell, hey, those people are exceptionally pale. They're definitely vampires.
I kind of thought that's why Edward noticed Bella, because like she's from Arizona, the sunniest state in the fucking map, and she comes in looking like liquid paper.
Oh, dude. You say she walks in, the second she gets on screen and you get to see Edward look at her, you get so fucking confused because it's supposed to be sexual or something, and they both look like they're trying to have some sort of Jedi mind battle.
It's really rough because like she walks in and there just so happens to be a fan there, and like he blows her hair across her face, and Edward's over there just like busting hard under the table. He just can't fucking handle it.
No, the first time they see each other, she's sitting in the cafeteria and she immediately sees him. He walks in, he sees her, and they just like stare at each other for a minute, having never met before. He sits down and he's still staring at her. And the face that he is giving her is like, he knows he has diarrhea, but he's really trying to squeak out like one little fart, but he doesn't want to do too much.
And she just happens to be in his vision cone, just something to focus on.
Yeah, because she looks like a dying fish the whole time.
Man, it is real rough because I've seen other movies these two actors have been in, and they're great. Like Robert Pattinson has grown into a phenomenal actor, and to see him just like fucking dredge through this awful dialogue is embarrassing.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about this yet, but the dialogue, this is some of the worst dialogue that I've ever experienced. I assume a lot of this is straight from the book. So Stephanie Meyer, I blame you. But I also blame just like the execution of this dialogue, because it's real bad too.
Man, it just goes back to my point earlier. Like, we have to do this. Like, they're all here like, man, this is going to make an ass ton of money and we're all going to be richer afterwards.
You mentioned Robert Pattinson, and I know, as you said, I know he is a good actor. He can be a good actor. What the fuck happened?
I have notes of whenever they first start to talk, and it's so ridiculous. My note is dialogue. Ugh. And then I have my name, Jeff, because whenever he introduces himself, he sounds just like Channing Tatum in 21 Jump Street when he goes, my name is Jeff.
You were right about, when they're sitting in like, what is it, science class, biology. And it's so fucking awkward because they're supposed to sit beside each other and he's just absolutely staring daggers into her from like a foot and a half away too.
It's one of those things where like the movie's really trying to push this like love at first sight kind of thing, I think. Mm-hmm. But the whole time I'm just like, what the fuck does he want? Because it makes no goddamn sense why he's looking like this.
Yeah.
He has that look that he has some very important shit on his cell phone that she doesn't need to know about. That she has it in her hand right now.
Like he showed her a picture and he's just sweating like, please don't swipe right. Please don't swipe right.
Yes.
Don't do it.
I just don't understand how this is lost in the translation. Like, the book be damned, whatever. This is a movie. This is an adaptation. There had to have been someone somewhere and just say, hey, this is fucking dumb. Like, what are we doing here? Was everybody just so checked out? Is just like just going to your 9 to 5 and just like, sure beats digging ditches, that kind of thing.
I would have to say yes, because the scene moments later where she almost gets crushed by a van is also just fucking ridiculous. This van comes flying into the high school parking lot up a hill and slams it on, and Tokyo drifts right at her.
Man.
And Edward just appears there, stops the van, leaving a huge dent in it, and then just, little Lord Fauntleroy runs away. It's so bad.
Like, all the execution's just bad. Like, that van wasn't even going anywhere near close to fast. And somehow it's just like, whoop, 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 just flying across the parking lot or whatever. Like, I can forgive Edward being quick as shit because, quote unquote vampire, whatever. But then it's immediately followed by another stare down. Like, this was like an accident. This is serious. People are like running to see what's happening. Even the driver of the van is like, oh shit, I'm sorry. And all the meanwhile, Edward's just like burning holes in Kristen Stewart's head with his laser vision.
Yeah, he's just giving her blue steel the whole time.
Yes.
They've at least had a conversation at this point, or at least tried to. He's still making these faces and talking about how, he's sorry that, he didn't introduce himself before, and it's real awkward and real cringy. And then that van scene hits, and it's just like, what's up, bro? How'd you do that?
Everybody saw it. In fact, the only person that was like weirded out about it was Kristen Stewart. Like, oh, that's fucking weird. Also kind of hot, but mostly weird. Little hot though. And
then he just like crawls away and just like scurries out. Like, the next thing we know, we're actually meeting his father, who is a doctor. I don't know if he has a first name, Dr. Cullen, but he's definitely a vampire too.
Yeah, either that or a Nazi, straight up.
Porque no los dos.
I went with Draco Malfoy.
Oh, Super Draco Malfoy. Who's the what's his dad's name?
Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts. Malfoy.
Yes.
But
they're at the hospital, and he's having to explain how he did it. He's like, oh, it's just adrenaline. It happens all the time, and you got PTSD and shit, so just fucking get over it.
No, he says it's called an adrenaline rush. You can Google it.
Okay.
This entire thing is bad.
They fucking say Google 4 times and show Google twice. Like, they literally Google search things and go, Google it. Do you Google?
I do it on my phone, but they're all fucking 2004 Nokias. What the fuck?
Oh,
I only get Alta Vista.
Jesus.
That entire scene, which is like in the greenhouse or whatever, right? That whole composting scene.
Jeez.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that entire scene of like Edward and Bella just trying to converse is embarrassing. It's...
Dude, he comes off so abusive stalker. Why are you going to Jacksonville? How do you know about that? Oh, God, I'm going to fucking kill you, bitch. You're like, what?
Because you said something, and I was all the way across the parking lot, and I could hear it because I have super hearing.
I could smell the Jacksonville on you. Damn.
Smells like redneck and margaritas.
And like the movie tries to play it off like, oh, like he's doing it because he's trying to set like some kind of personal boundaries where I was like, I mean, because I don't want us to get too close, but I kind of want to fuck, and it's just this weird non-sexual tension through the entire movie. It just had me exhausted.
You're right. It's tension. It's not really sexual tension. It's like sexual tension if you wanted to write it for a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
And then a little bit later, he's like, I only said that we shouldn't be friends. Not that I don't want us to. All I'm saying is that if you were smart, you'd stay away from me. And then she's like, but what if I wasn't smart?
I'm a bad guy.
Duh.
This guy is the reason why women get kidnapped. This is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
She has like some fucking dream about him. There's zero context. You don't even know it's a dream. And then she suddenly wakes up, and there's just a small bit of narration over her staring listfully at the wall. And that was the first time I dreamed about Edward Cullen.
Isn't that also the scene where like she turns the light on for a moment and he's just there?
Oh, I think that's a little bit... Is it? Is that the same scene?
No, she thinks he's there. because secretly he's been watching her, but she thinks she's dreaming
yeah.
it.
Oh yeah, the movie hasn't quite caught up to the fucking creepiness, I guess.
Yeah. It turns out Edward's actually pretty fucking creepy.
Always creepy. It's so ridiculous. Like I thought, like maybe you could remake this movie, and the twist is he's not a vampire at all. He's just a fucking freak.
No, this is a comedy, and it's a South Park movie. If he would have just had the eye twitch, he would have been Tweak.
Nice. But her friends invite her, because she has friends at school that like her and everything. She's still focused on this fucking Cullen family. But her friends are like, hey, forget about it. Come to the beach with us. You know, we'll chill out. She invites Edward. Edward's like, nah, I don't really go to the beach, especially not that one. So she goes by herself or with her friends. And Jacob shows up and is like, oh, you invited Cullen? He's a freak. Maybe you should have listened to him because he's kind of a freak.
At this point, like they're both freaks because they seem to know like a lot about each other and they don't hang out with each other. And then like they're at the beach on the shores of Washington State surfing.
Okay, it's got to be 20 fucking degrees outside.
Well, the weather's always piss poor. I mean, this is like a big cup of depresso, this entire place.
Yeah, and they're sitting there wrapped in literal blankets. You can see the fucking ocean splashing up and misting nonstop. They look absolutely miserable trying to pretend to be happy. So why would you even pretend that this is something people there do?
I don't know. That actually happens quite a bit. Where like everything's just kind of like normal, but the choices they make are from people who live in a completely different destination.
100%.
Okay, we get told in the beginning that this is March. We've got prom coming up. There's black ice on the roads. And we get a hint of snow. So yeah, it's fucking cold out.
Stupid smart weather.
But honestly, it looks kind of delightful. You got a nice little fire going, maybe a cup of cocoa while you're hanging out of the van, wrapped in a blanket or something. You got your friendly neighborhood werewolf boy coming around. It's like, yeah, my tribe evolved from werewolves. That's just a legend or something. We're not really werewolves. The Cullens are a rival tribe or something.
In his language, they were Chicha-montante douches. Shithead douche vampires.
Man, I feel like the research you did for that joke was way more than anybody did for the screenplay of this fucking movie.
Yeah, the next thing, he tells her this whole thing, and she's like, I've got to research this. To Google!
Yeah. And she just becomes like a little PI and I can't say she starts to put stuff together because like the movie is so heavy-handed in how it presents this information. Like, we know he's a vampire, but the movie's just like, oh, he was in Egypt and Peru and he's the fucking daywalker or what the fuck ever. That's Blade, but no, don't, you know what I'm saying?
Well, in the meantime that they're out surfing and shit, old boy, one of their buddies, some fucking dude that no one really cares about, he's busy getting eaten on his boat by what appears to be live-action anime versions of X-Men villains.
Oh my god, absolutely. I mean, the one dude without a shirt, which I think his name is James or whatever, he totally looks like the guy who tried out for the role of Thor and just didn't get it.
You're too skinny.
I thought he was Sabretooth all day.
Yeah. But there's been a series of attacks on people. They originally thought it was like some kind of animal. Turns out, I guess it's just like a nomadic little group of vampires just passing through.
Yeah. And they're real assholes, for lack of a better term. Because like they hop on the old creepy dude's boat and he's like, dude, like what the fuck? Who are you? What are you doing? And they're always like, always the same old questions. Murder. I'm like, those are applicable questions, by the way. Don't go straight to murdering.
It's always, what are you eating me for? And not, why are you eating me for?
It's just an existential thing now.
What do you need? I need to feel you inside me.
That took a different direction.
We get more dialogue, which is you could just fucking roll over and take a nap during. But this leads to Bella going dress shopping since Edward's not in school because there's nice weather and vampires hate nice weather. But she almost gets fucking raped until Edward saves her by Tokyo drifting.
Absolutely. Like, how is he? Like, I know he's like whatever years old, but like in one of those lives, was he like a stunt driver or some shit? Because he like zooms that Volvo around the corner like perfectly. He's like, hey guys, I'm a big deal. Get out of here.
Yeah, like at one point she wants to go off by herself away from her friends to this like tribal bookstore, this Native American bookstore, and do, I guess, a little bit of independent research on things like werewolves and vampires. And when she's coming out of there, going back to her friends, she gets cornered in an alley and things almost go bad. And luckily, Edward's just there to be like, hey, get in the car. Let's go.
I think the only bit of this scene that could be salvaged is that the missus watched this on Netflix and she said it said evil growl.
Oh, that's during the, I put in quotations, the stare. He gets out of the car and the dude that's like trying to do the main raping, I guess, the ringleader. He's
the
like,
main raping?
He's like the first string rapist.
Yes, head rapist.
Before they bring in the backup rapists.
But he stares at him, and if his stare can make a noise, it's,
I'm going to get goofy with you.
Yes, it's not scary. It's not intimidating. It looks like,
it's like I'm trying to be goofy looking. This is supposed to be comedic, but it's not. You just saved her from getting raped.
Now that you bring it up, as they're like driving recklessly away from the scene of the rape, he's got the same face as Andy Samberg and the other fella in the Jizz Your Pants music video or whatever, because he himself is kind of placid, but like his face is acting, just trying real hard to make up for everything else.
He and his face are on like completely different wavelengths, and he's telling his face, hey, do something. And his face does it. He doesn't know what it is. It's just all at once. It's like,
oh no. He's like, 2 weeks.
But he's like, he takes her back to her friends, and for whatever reason, just like, oh, there you are. Oh, Edward's with you. And he's just like, I'm going to take her to get something to eat, and then I'll take her home. Don't worry about it. Her friends are just like, oh, Edward Cullen.
Moving up in the world, Bella. He's into incest.
Oh, fuck. Isn't that also like a red flag? Because the entire movie, they're like, oh yeah, he's creepy, whatever. And then like, she's just with him, and they're just like, oh wow, good for you, love. I don't know why it's British, but
one of my biggest complaints is people don't act like this.
No, not at all.
The only one that is acting like a person actually acts is probably Kristen Stewart. I mean, take away all the vampire stuff. She's acting like a completely awkward as fuck 16-year-old girl. Let's be real.
She just sits there with her mouth open. That's it.
Yeah. And there's also like a scene where like I don't know why they use this take, but she like comes home after like a day. She like tosses her backpack into the chair. It doesn't make it. Falls to the floor. There is a beat where everyone's like, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and act this out anyways because fuck it.
Fuck it. We're using it. But some of the dialogue back there when they're together is, I mean, I don't need to keep pounding that the dialogue in this movie is terrible, but she's just like, so you're not going to eat anything? No, I'm on a special diet. Come on, guys.
that moment where he had to take the drag, the cigarette, just like, ooh.
We also find out that evidently Edward has a couple of little special powers. Like, we knew that he was like super fast, super strong, whatever. We now know that he can read minds, at least everyone's mind except for Bella's.
It's so arbitrary too. Like, the way it works is like, it kind of works here, but doesn't work here. And also this other lady can do the same thing. She's a little better at it, but also it's not 100%. So
No. She can see the future. He can read minds. You're talking about Alice, the girl with like the sixpence, none the richer hair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
But it's so weird because like, there's that scene where he's like, yeah, we're in this restaurant. I can read what everybody's thinking. It's like sex, meow, 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 meow.
Yeah, there is the one like heavily tattooed guy who's like, that guy's thinking about his cat.
That's a joke, by the way.
I was too busy being distracted by the fact that the woman with the pompadour hair from Blade Runner was their waitress.
Oh man, Rachel.
Didn't see that at all. But yeah, they go back and one of her dad's friends is who got attacked this time, and is just like, oh, you're hanging out with Edward Cullen. That's interesting. Go ahead and take her home. We don't need to ask any questions about this.
And this is where they get more of the whole romance that they're developing, because he's pulling a psycho mantis and getting all fucking tight in the pants because I can't read your mind. And we're 47 minutes in.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Bro, I was looking at that goddamn length of the film. I wrote in my notes, smack Chandler once. You did this.
Well, isn't this the bit where Bella gets turned into a backpack and they rush up the side of the mountain?
Yes.
And the whole thing is to like show off, I guess, his powers, quote unquote. But realistically, it's just to show her that like he sparkles in the sunlight or whatever. Like, this isn't character development. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this information?
I will say this was my only redeeming quality in the movie. Not the sparkling, but the speech he gives her before all the stupid shit. Had it just been left to words, it was actually really good. He said, I'm a killer. Everything about me invites you in. Like his smell, his look, his demeanor, all of that is just, I took it, mind you, as he isn't charming, he isn't, attractive or anything like that. He wasn't what he is now. He transformed or evolved into this thing thanks to his powers. That way he could get his prey, be better suited to acquire another victim because he's attractive, well-spoken, and now they're interested and it just smells nice. Pulls you in.
Well, that's just a drop in the bucket because like how he presents his like strength and speed is so fucking cringe. He's just like throwing sticks and rocks around. He's like, I'm a killer. I was like, all right, cool. Now he's in a tree.
But yeah, this is where we finally find out, or when Bella finally figures it out, like, oh hey, he's the cold one. He's a vampire or something. Talks about all of his attributes. She's like, how old are you? And he's just like, I'm 17. How long have you been 17? A while.
Ugh, Lord.
And this is one of those scenes where we get the like ludicrous fucking camera spin. It's just circling around them. It's bad.
It's almost like the director knew this whole movie was flat as fuck and he saw Bad Boys once. He's like, I got an idea.
What else can we have Edward do in the sequel? Has he ever fired a pistol whilst jumping through the air?
Does he do that in the sequels? I don't know.
You've never seen Bad Boys 2.
Oh. Okay. But what we have here is one of like, I feel like the key moments. Like, I think it was even in the trailer when she's like, I know what you are. And he's like, say it out loud. Say what I am. And she's just like, vengeance.
Oh,
all right.
I am the Batman. No, what he is a 100-year-old man banging a teenager.
Yep, 100%.
But to be fair, to his credit, at least at this point, he has not banged her.
Dude, man, I was getting frustrated. I was like, just fucking bang it out already.
Oh,
Jesus
for
Christ.
Real. Like, I'll tell you, there is more sexual tension in the looks that blonde Cullen girl is giving her than anything that Edward is doing.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. Now, in the meantime, the wolf pack is back, baby, and she's at her house, and a truck pulls up, and it's her dad's Native American buddy and Jacob. Mm-hmm. But the dad is driving.
Yes, and he gets out and gets in a wheelchair. That puzzled everybody in the party watch. I was like, how's he doing that? Is he just fucking doing this for the insurance money? It's just the way of the road, Randy. Whatever.
Yes. Dude, I got confused. I went, did I see that wrong? No? Okay, he was driving. What the fuck?
All right, I'm just going to throw together a string of this terrible dialogue. I've never wanted a human's blood so much in my life. My family are different. We only hunt animals, but your scent, it's like a drug to me. You're like my own personal brand of heroin.
Oh, fuck me. Dude, he eats deers and he calls himself a vegetarian. Fuck this. Fuck all of it.
Fuck all of it.
Did you like their crucifix decor?
The lion fell in love with the lamb.
Like, as long as these guys have been alive, like, as soon as Kristen Stewart walks in, he's like, wow, this is a nice place. And I was thinking, yeah, it should be. Most of the shit's probably stolen.
Yeah, they just killed somebody who lived here. But
including Jesus. You see the cross on the fucking staircase?
They've kept it since the crucifixion. Like, fuck that dude. I ain't no snitch. Judas, my boy.
Oh, Christ.
If we haven't mentioned it yet, and I think we have, like, anytime that they are even around each other, the tension between Edward and Jacob like they don't ever say a word to each other. It's just like they eye each other. And when they pass in the car, I think it's the last time when they pass in the car, the face Edward is giving Jacob is like, what are you doing here, man?
Basically.
It's just super weird because like this movie is like one of many. Like they're trying to build this thing that doesn't really necessarily happen in this movie. So it's just entirely out of place, it feels, you know? This is legitimately building the next movie's foil. And it doesn't really give anything else to this movie because of it.
It's just like, oh, those two, they probably knew each other at some point and they got some bad blood. But why is Edward making those goofy faces at him? Are they actually friends? Are they just pretending to be frenemies? What's going on there? Did they fuck? Too. Oh, they fucked.
They were roommates.
He's 100. He's down for whatever.
Just put him down for whatever.
Yeah, fuck it. But now she goes in the bedroom with Edward finally, and she's like, "No bed? How we fuck?" And he goes, "Baby girl, don't you worry. Check it. Jump on my back, because we got some Jedi training to do." And he fucking takes off, and he's like, "Run, run, run, jump. You can be my backpack while I run." And he's just...
By the way, can we talk about this bedroom? This guy is a vampire, and 3/4 of this room is made of windows.
Well, everything's so overcast all the time. He's just like, you know what? 30% UV, not bad.
Yeah, but like, let's say he's just chilling in there listening to some Debussy, and I don't know, the sun comes up for a minute. Is he gonna get fried?
No, he just twinkles.
That's right. Okay, he doesn't die. We know a lot about vampires as there are certain things about vampires that we know. The sunlight, garlic, stake through the heart, can't see the reflection. And this just like throws it all out the window. They fucking sparkle instead.
Yeah, so instead of him feeling pain or anything, he just gets angsty.
I can't believe I look like one of those Christmas bulbs. And fuck. They do the tree bit. There's other vampires out there pulling a Bigfoot, leaving footprints, and the cops are like, "There are fucking people out here running about."
Yeah.
The dad looks at her and says, "People are dying, but you need to go out with your friends because stuff." Mom's on the phone, by the way. She wants to know if you got condoms. And there's 47 fucking minutes left.
Yeah. Well, they try to fill it up. So, like, they go out, like, all the vampire family plus Kristen. They go out and fucking play baseball in a thunderstorm.
Yeah, this is supposed to be their date. She tells her dad that she's going on a date with Edward, and they end up going out to the middle of the woods to play baseball. And this is, like, there's a lot of ridiculous shit in this movie. This is one of, if not the most ridiculous scene.
Yeah, it's egregious, it's stupid, it's pointless. Like, they make it seem like baseball is a vampiric thing. Like, synonymous. And you're just like... What? Like, I never saw Dracula and Babe Ruth ever just like hang out or whatever.
But we do get a fucking banger, by the way, in Supermassive Black Holes by Muse.
I fucking lost my shit. Oh my god, like, it doesn't even fit the scene at all.
No. But what we end up getting is the 3 bad vampires, James and the Jamaican vampire with dreads and like the hot girl vampire, Caribbean jerk. Yeah. Yeah. They come through the woods and is like, "Hey, I found your baseball. You need 3 new players." And meanwhile, James is like, "I smell human. It's making me horny."
It's tough to put into words, this interaction between like the vampire family, for lack of a better term, and these like vagrants. Because you got like Sabretooth, Vanilli, and fucking Penny Lane just out there like with their own personalities, but they're kind of killers. But it doesn't really add up anything except for James. He's just like a super bloodthirsty, at this point, I guess, piece of shit according to the rest of the vampires.
Like, I feel like I know this guy from something. He's been like another piece of shit bad guy in something. I can't figure out what it is. Was he in like the Fast and the Furious series at some point? This guy is from something.
Google it.
He's in that one movie where he gets punched in the face.
Hey, yo, Google, what's that movie?
Where that dude gets punched in the face.
Yeah, specifically.
Meanwhile, they're like, "Oh my god, he's gonna eat me. I hate it here." And she decides that she's gonna fly back to Phoenix? Maybe? I don't fucking know. Baseball's involved.
No, she decides to fucking become a traveler and drive all the way back to fucking Arizona.
Well, traveling has its perks. What I've got here today is from Pizza Port Brewing Company out of Carlsbad, California. This is Travel Perks. It's a 7.2% India Pale Ale. It's a little cloudy, not really what I'd call a hazy IPA, but it's a little cloudy.
Is there a chance of meatballs?
Get the fuck out of here.
Immediately.
Now, there's a lot of like peach and mango. It's still not especially like New England style, what I would say, but there's a little bit of that fruitiness. Not nearly as much of that fruitiness comes through in the flavor. There's a little bit of that mango, but mostly you've got a lot of like hoppy flavor, sort of generic hoppy flavor, maybe leaning a little bit toward that floral, grassy kind of hoppy, but it still tops out with like mango, maybe a little pineapple. This is kind of like a mixture between New England styles and West Coast style IPA. It's not bad. It's not anything amazing. It's pretty much a middle of the road IPA in kind of every way. It's fine.
Well, speaking of middle of the road, these fuckers hit the road. They come up with like some cockamamie plan, like, hey, that fella's going to hunt you now, so we got to split up and do all these wacky things so we can throw him off the scent.
So I guess the idea is that Alice is going to take Bella, and they're going to drive all the way to Phoenix. Meanwhile, the other group of Cullen vampires just going to wander around in the woods with her jacket, with Bella's jacket, to, I guess, throw off James's scent.
I guess.
This is where shit gets fucking stupid. During this whole road trip...
Whoa, what? This is where shit gets stupid?
Look,
like exceptionally stupid.
Yeah, this is where my logic just broke down. I got so confused because they run away and he finds them because whatever, movie.
Eventually he's like, oh, they're trying to trick me. They're not here at all. She's in Arizona.
And he's there and he's tossing her around and he's filming her and I'm gonna eat you, bitch. And all of a sudden, here comes Edward and the whole family, and they kill him instantly. There's zero trouble destroying these enemy vampires. So whenever they threatened to kill her to begin with, why didn't they just save all the trouble and go, hey guys, if you mess with her, we're going to kill you because 40 minutes later from now, we're going to do it anyways for the same reason.
Well, Edward back there was like, we're going to have to kill him. And Bella's just like, no, I can run. And then go back to Dr. Cullen. Dr. Cullen's like, no, I don't really want to kill anything. I'm a vegan.
I mean, did you see their baseball outfits? They're pretty cultured.
Yeah.
Very tight. The one vampire lady, the bitchy one, she's still wearing her baseball pants. She never took them off. She knew she had a fucking dummy thick booty.
She do, though.
Back to your point, like the whole logic just falling apart. This whole scene does not make any sense. So, like, Sabretooth's like, hey, don't bring any of your friends. It's just you and me. Also British for no reason. And, like, Edward shows up anyways, but this guy's like a fucking Class A predator or whatever. And he didn't smell him coming or anything. Like, he got the drop on the fucking dude.
Well, I think vampires are supposed to, like, not have a smell to other vampires so that, like, vampires can pick up on, like, humans better. I don't fucking know. I don't know, guys.
He fucking smelled that she wasn't in Arizona or she was in Arizona.
Yeah, because she's human, I don't know, guys.
He couldn't smell Edward's hair product.
Oh, fuck.
He's a Dapper Dan, man.
Fucking A right he is.
Yeah.
And at this point, Bella's laying on the ground having a convulsion, trying to say her piece and count to 3, but she just can't.
Yeah, she gets bit like a dumbass.
Dude, she straight up gets fucking assaulted. And like almost secondhand assaulted because she winds up with like a busted leg, like stabbed with glass, all the while like the other fellas are fucking throwing hands. Like, I'm here to protect you, but you're gonna get hurt regardless.
So there's a tussle between Edward and James, and that's like the big, the final battle of the movie or whatever. And at one point we have James pressing Edward's face up into this broken mirror, and you can see both of their reflections. There are a few things that we know about vampires. One, for sure, they can't see their reflection in a mirror. There's no reflection, and you can see them both. What are you doing here?
I'm going to once again bring up the conversation that Ben Affleck had with Michael Bay on the set of Armageddon, to which Ben Affleck asked Michael Bay, wouldn't it just be easier just to train astronauts? To which Michael Bay said, "Shut the fuck up."
Like,
yes.
I haven't seen my reflection, but I have seen the house my reflection paid for.
Absolutely. Like, the movie doesn't even follow by its own rules, because after he dispenses of poor James, he runs across the room, and the movie goes out of its way to show the detail of Edward not being in the mirrors at all. So,
oh really?
What are you gonna do? You know,
yeah, what they
fuck
do,
it.
like lickety split, they just snap James's neck. Like the tiniest girl snaps his neck and is like, "All right, let's catch him on fire and get out of here." By the way, inside like a ballet studio. That's what this is. So yeah.
Probably killed him with their fucking booty power. I don't know.
I started laughing pretty good at old girl. She's like, "We gotta help Bella," and then she just starts huffing her blood.
Yeah, she's like totally into it. She's like, "Wait a minute, no, she's not mine. She's Edward's." And then like he comes over and starts like being a bitch. Like, it was fucking frustrating. like the doctor dude, he's like clearly like, "Hey, listen, just suck the poison out. End of story. Super easy. We just don't have a lot of time." And he's just like, but you know,
I'm not gonna want to stop. Once I suck, I can't stop sucking. You know me, Dad.
Papa.
Sets down laptop, walks away, shaking head.
Oh man. But like after all this is over, it's like this weird hard cut to a hospital, and like her mom's magically there from Florida, fucking overnight or even less so.
Okay,
but
before we get too far into the hospital scene, I do want to bring back up whenever he's sucking out the venom, they are playing some folk song that is very reminiscent of that "I Will Wait for You" song, or what the fuck ever. I will wait for you. And he's just
yeah. Like, that was a song that I know that I've heard before, but have no idea who it was or what. I even tried to look up the soundtrack, and I don't know what that was.
It was Bloodford and Sons.
Bloodford and Sons?
Bloodford and Sons. Yeah, back at the hospital, like, through the whole movie, Edward's just, like, fucking creepy, doing, like, creeper shit all day long. And the movie goes out of its way, of course, to tell us that, like, he doesn't sleep. So Kristen's mom is in the room just trying to console her and just tell her to fuck whatever, I guess. And he's just, like, over there with his head kind of down. So, like, he's not sleeping. He's just been there waiting the entire time.
Yeah, she even says, like, he's been here the entire time. He hasn't left. And that's kind of creepy. You've known this guy a week now. Also, you've been in the hospital twice in the last week. You should probably move.
The end. You should probably move. That's how we fucking end that.
But literally, she's just like, no, I've actually made my decision. I want to go back to Forks, Washington. I need to live there. I need to be there forever with him.
Dude, man.
With this guy that I've known for 1 week.
The last thing that fell out of her mouth to her dad before she left to go on whatever fucking adventure just happened was basically, "Hey, fuck you, I'm out." And it just turned out to be the same thing that his mom said when she left him for good. Yeah. I was just like, how do you come back from that? Like, all these bridges are burned. Like, fuck it.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
But no, she has her prom. Everything's all hunky-dory. They have like a 007 themed bash, I guess. I don't know. It's real hokey. It's like a super weird tonal change. We go from like this absurd, dumb violence to like an emotional moment at the hotel or hospital. And then it's just like prom. He walks in, he's like, "This is a coming of age ceremony," or something like that. "I did not want you to miss it." And she's like, "Aw."
But you've already come of age 100 times. But when they're getting ready to leave to go to the prom, her dad's like, "You still got that pepper spray? I got you an extra one just in case, you know, Edward, because I don't like him." He doesn't say that, but that's just how it comes across,
Dude, I can't lie. As soon as it showed him at the dance, I went, "All right, good, it's over," and just turned it off.
There's a little bit more. Like when there's like
he tapped out.
Like when they're sitting out there, Jacob comes up and is like, "Hey, my dad paid me $20 to come talk to you, so he wants you to break up with your boyfriend. Also, they said that like my tribe, they're gonna be watching you." And it seems like from her, it sounds like, "Oh, sweet," but to me, that sounds fucking creepy.
The whole thing is, in fact, like when the movie ends, like them dancing in the gazebo or whatever.
To Iron and Wine's Flightless Bird American Mouth, by the way. Another banger.
I guess so. Like, the scene didn't serve that song any whatsoever. But as they're dancing, quote unquote, the camera like pulls back and like that lady Penny Lane or whatever, and she's just like looking over them from a tower or something.
Oh, the bad girl vampire.
I guess. I don't know. But like the movie just ends on her looking into the camera and it goes black and white and the credits roll. Like, what is this supposed to mean to me?
Before this, I'll tell you, there is so much bad dialogue. There's, why'd you save me? You could have just let the venom spread. Like, you've known this guy for a week and you're like, I want to be a vampire forever and be with you and do all kinds of other weird gay shit.
Yeah, like 50 years from now, she'd be like, yeah, let me just hop on the old wolf boy, hop on the old red rocket.
But yeah, I dream about being with you forever. Girl, come on. But you're right, the ending credits come and you're just like, I don't know what, I know there's more movies.
I'm out. I'm good. I'm totally solid. If this is any indication of the quality of the rest of the franchise, then I'm good. I'm solid.
Yeah, this was bad. But we do get, as the credits roll, we get 15 Step by Radiohead, which does not fit anything at all.
It's like, what licensed song do we have in the back just like sitting collecting dust?
Why? Tom York, why?
I think as a whole, this movie's like a super massive fucking scam. Like, everybody's in this for the paycheck. Nobody gives a shit. From the actors just fucking off, saying lines just with no emotion whatsoever, all the way down to just production just being absolutely lazy. And it's so apparent on screen that I was getting visually frustrated. Like, I was like, what in the fuck is any of this? I feel like this is a movie that like should be required for like any kind of person that wants to get into film. And it's just like, this is what you not do. Everything about this movie is either wrong or tilted towards it. It's so baffling. Like, I know like people shit on, like, it's because it's like a like a preteen love story. No, there's good movies with the same like little love story. This is just fucking embarrassing. We didn't even bring up the fact that there was like piano laden music video in the middle of the movie, and like right at the end she's like, wow, that was beautiful, what was that called? And he just looked her in the eye and said, lick my love pump.
Oh, beautiful.
One of the most insanely idiotic films I've ever seen. Yeah. At no point during this film was there a cohesive plot that could be considered part of a decent film. Everyone on this podcast is now dumber for having watched it. I would rather watch Cats.
Same.
Damn.
And you're not wrong. All right, from the dialogue, which I would just want to reiterate, this dialogue gave me cancer. The shots, like the way everything is shot, is either at an angle or spinning around. They want to do some kind of like entry-level trick to the cinematography, and it doesn't work. It feels like a high schooler made this film, and they very well might have. But overall, from the acting, which is mostly abysmal, there's a couple of like I think Anna Kendrick is fine. I honestly think Kristen Stewart is fine for the most part, just being like an awkward 16-year-old girl. She passes that along fine. Robert Pattinson is somehow terrible in this. Overall, I think this is awful. This is god-awful, and you're just right. A lot of people might give this shit for being just like a teenage vampire love story. No, it gets shit because this is a terrible movie.
Well, there you have it. That was Twilight. If you have any strong feelings about the movie or the show, leave it in that comment section right below.
Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons. Tap that little bell icon. Fuck it, smash that bell icon so you don't miss what we got brewing up next.
Get out there and follow us on social media. We got that Instagram, Facebook, Reddit. We got a YouTube. We've definitely, thanks to the Anchor app, got Spotify and Apple Podcasts. See what we got going on. We got an awesome administrator pumping out new content for you guys. And if you don't at least give us a chance, we'll give you a private screening of Twilight in reverse.
Is that on our Patreon?
Yes. If you have one, there's also a picture of Chandler's feet.
That's the high dollar tier, by the way.
Yes.
I was going to say, you can get that at the entry level, the private screening of Twilight. That costs $300 a month.